also, you are, you're trying to build some momentum into next season. Feel good about it. You're going to want to win this series because you're going to want to feel good about going into next season. So it is. You might want to follow my observing because, my observing's not great. I'm going to tell you. But I'm a work in progress. In the bottom left, it is the challenger. The man, the myth, it is Ziggy. Do you want to handle the top right, or you want me to take it? Yeah, give it to me.
In the top right, we have from Starcom Gaming.
Oh, God.
Braddock.
Amazing. Now, we've got our resident Terran expert in the mix. Now, I watched that last TVT series very closely, so I know basically everything there is to know about TVT.
Yeah, and honestly, there isn't a lot to know. Also, look at that, a little 2x in the match.
You were kind of thinking this is going to happen, but now, him keeping this at home, does this tell you probably it's shenanigans, but probably not that crazy shenanigans?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I will say, though, this build order, the 2x at home, it gets shut down pretty hard by the 2 gas at home from Braddock.
Oh.
However, if Braddock were playing 1 gas, then you could commit to a lot of Reapers with this. Like, you could make 5 to 7 Reapers against Reaper Expand.
Okay.
But I think versus 2 gas in this situation, he's going to cut at 3.
Okay. Now, is there going to be any tell for Braddock here? When he comes to the main, do you think there's any chance he scouts around that natural?
Yeah, so once you see this depot right here, you're going to scout around. So you see him scouting around the little
He's already
right there? Okay, well, it's not necessary to scout that deep, because if they put the proxy racks all the way in their main, then it's just way too late for it to be any use. So I think that's a slight error.
Oh, now the Reaper will kill him. I guess he should have known the Reaper timing, but...
Yeah, he knows. You know what I mean? Like, this is a lot of information, because no CC goes down at 2 minutes.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
It's either at 140 or 230,
right,
2 minutes is no.
Braddock actually scouted around his natural as well for 8-second barracks. He is aware. Now, we do have the Reaper dance. It's going to be important that neither of them lose that Reaper. We see the quick Hellion, the second Reaper from Braddock. Looks like a beautiful opener for Braddock right now.
Yeah, this is looking really good for Braddock.
Although, okay, no. The expansions are basically the same. And I will say, eventually, I think the Hellion, the counterattack for Braddock might be huge eventually. Right? Once this Hellion count gets high enough. And he is at the high round.
And more importantly, as you noted in the last series, Braddock is going to have a large Raven count over Ziggy, and that, as we both know, that Raven count.
That Raven count, you get that Raven count going. That's my ballpark, right? That's my sweet spot. Yeah. Right now, the Reapers just take so long to get across the map, and are you surprised? Okay, no. So we do see Ziggy kind of giving up, only going up to 4 Reapers. A 5th Reaper will come out.
Oh, fast third CC here from Ziggy after knowing he's playing against 2 gas. That's interesting.
Now we do see he's going to try to get chased down. It is a little bit dangerous for Braddock. We see the second Hellion coming in. He is going to chase them down a little bit. But Ziggy going to try to find a decent little spread. Hard to completely.
Also gone up to 5 Reapers, and Braddock is playing with no Starport. So this is 2 very different openers. I really haven't seen these openers often in TVT. So this is going to be an interesting game. I think we also might be seeing... Okay, so I think Ziggy's going to go bio off this, because he has the double barracks. But I think almost certainly we have Braddock playing mech. So we have a mech versus bio match here, which I think is also very interesting.
Yeah, we got the fast third CC as well coming down from Braddock. I will say it is interesting to me that, the fast Cyclone, it almost is like Braddock is not, maybe he's almost a little bit scared with this fast Cyclone. I thought maybe he was going to counterattack, do some aggressive build, after that opener, but it looks like he's going to slow
I definitely think if you take a note of how much gas he's been floating for the last 2 minutes, I don't think his builder has been exactly planned out. Because he's had a lot of gas to use for Ravens or even like a second factory.
Yeah, this Starport could have come down quite a bit faster.
But even then, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
Like, he played against the 2x Reaper opener where his opponent made 5 Reapers, and 5 Reapers are a lot of units that are just kind of bad as the game goes on. So I think that will definitely... we're going to go into a long game here. I'd say at least 15 minutes.
Okay, I'm with you. Hold on, this guy's saying the volume is low. I'll ask if it is on... Casters or in-game? Oh, Vault tab. Now nobody can see anything. Good production tab. Now, I think it's going to be interesting to see whoever... Okay, we see the scan not seeing the third base, but you kind of know, right? He sees no production here, and he sees the SCV coming from the high ground.
Yeah.
He should know that it is a fast third base. And I think that is going to be pretty big, because if Ziggy can get... Whoever gets their command center on the third base faster, I will like their position. I mean, because last series, what happened was Marine Lord was mining his third base for about a couple minutes before.
Yeah, I also think it doesn't matter too much if Ziggy's mining it faster, but it matters a lot if the mech player faster, because as the mech player, you take your gases very fast, and as the bio player, you're just mining minerals, so it's not the biggest deal.
Okay, I've turned you up a little bit, so people, I think you're probably okay now. I'd imagine you were a little bit low for me, so could have been my fault, guys. No big deal. But now we do see Ziggy coming across the map with an interesting army. The 5 Reapers from early game. The
definitely not something I've seen before, but
now,
this is looking pretty spicy.
Only 1 tank in the main, maybe with 2 medvacs here, maybe he can find some damage in the main base. He scans, he sees there's not a whole lot there. Ziggy on the third base, and now his third base is landed, so now he is in a nice position to at least start macroing up. And we do see the load now. Does Braddock realize, I mean, the scan came in the main. That's kind of a tell that a drop is coming. The scan came in. He does kind of...
The Raven repositioned.
Yep, I like this. He is kind of where he's going to use an interference matrix. Maybe. Nope, no, Ziggy just getting out of there. I think nice decision by both of them. Yeah. I think looking for damage was a good move, and then Braddock realizing what was coming. And he does need to get this third base set up. I got to say, I kind of... Oh, okay, stimming in, looking for a few units. A Ziggy, and he is going to catch the tank, I believe, and 2 Hellions, and a Cyclone. That's actually massive, because now Braddock can't take his third base. Now he is almost... Oh. Okay, couple...
Yeah.
Tell me his future. How do you feel?
It was a good attack by Ziggy there. I think he found what he wanted. Like, more importantly, he delayed the third from being put down, and that does multiple things. It just, first of all, makes your opponent very uncomfortable and messes up their macro. Yep. Delays SAV production off of the third command center and delays the gases. So I think Ziggy had a really successful attack there. Yeah, the only thing that worries me in this game for Ziggy is he's playing off of 1 eBay, and that kind of scares me because his upgrades aren't the best. And you already see Braddock, even though his upgrades are later, he's going double armoring.
Right.
And if the mech player's ahead in upgrades, that's just horrifying as the bio player. Like, I'm not sure what you do there.
Now we do see a scan coming in. There's only 3 tanks here. Ziggy might be able to find it. He's stimming in. He thinks there's not enough for Braddock. The Raven from the sky dropping the auto turret. And the cleanup actually coming in for Ziggy. Or for Braddock, excuse me.
Yeah, I think that's really not good for the bio player.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
Like 10 SCVs doesn't really matter as a mech player as long as you're mining gas.
Right.
And now that takes all the momentum out of the game here for Ziggy. And I think something people don't think about too often is if you lose bio units, you have to remake those bio units, right? So that delays your air transmission by quite a lot and also your upgrades.
Right.
So Ziggy's going to be on this cheap army for quite a while now, I think. And Ziggy, or Braddock here, is going to be on these strong mech units. I definitely favor this for Braddock.
Yeah, that was a nice hold by Braddock. He had the Raven come in to help. There actually was not a ton there on the ground. I thought maybe Ziggy could break it, but
I think the positioning on his missile turret and sensor tower actually help a lot because those just kind of choke up the pathing and sometimes take up attacks for just no reason. So that's always really nice by him.
We have a big Hellion run by coming by, and he sees it late. Will he get in position? He will. Nice pull from Ziggy. Nice little try to get some damage done from Braddock, falling back as well, keeping some of the Hellions alive. I like it.
Yeah, I thought it was really successful.
Yeah, I agree as well. The thing is, playing against mech as bio, it's kind of like bio is kind of like going Mass Roach, where your army, it can be good, but at a certain period of time, the mech army is usually just going to be better. And the longer the game goes on, I do think I will like Braddock's position. And Braddock, this situation, and we do see the Liberator coming into the natural. I like this as well. Probably going to time it up with his Hellions at the third base. Oh, double Liberator. Yeah.
Okay. This is very Braddock. I know I'm playing Braddock on ladder whenever I see it.
Okay. I like the supply depot wall from Ziggy as well on the low ground, but this Liberator is being so annoying right now. He has nothing near to handle it.
Yeah, this is really good harassment by him. He also sends the Hellions to the 4th. Okay, scouting around. I like this. Strong damage. And honestly, the really nice thing about this is he sees the army just now building, so he knows that Ziggy has very poor upgrades. So that might prompt him to go for a 2-2 timing, which would be very strong.
Wow, a lot of workers going down right now.
Yeah, that's massive.
Liberator up to 12 kills already, 14 SCVs falling in total, probably 2 from the main.
Oh, the main as well.
Oh, the Liberator, made it to this way to the main, and there's nothing here. I mean, he's going to have 1 Marine, but this is going to take forever to clean this up. This is so much lost mining time, and a lot of SCVs going down. Now, he's been trying to move around with this army on the north side, but, I mean, it's mech, it's siege tanks, it's missile turrets. It's going to be very hard for Ziggy to find damage with this army. And now, Ziggy's 1-7 Grazes, his 4th base is up in mining. I would like to see him get this. I guess he doesn't need this gas yet. But nice little harass for just a couple of Liberators in a time where you wouldn't expect Liberators to get too much done.
Yeah, it was fantastic product there. And honestly, I think that might prompt him to go for a big 2-2 timing here, because if it was true earlier that Ziggy was forced to make these cheap units, like now he's especially going to be forced to make cheap units because his economy is just horrible. So I think Braddock will have a really strong 2-2 timing, and I'm really not sure how Ziggy will respond to it.
Yeah, you say that, but now it looks like Ziggy feeling like he might find a bit of a spot here to attack. But, I mean, we got tanks everywhere, missile turrets everywhere. I don't think he can make this happen right now. And I'm a little bit worried that Ziggy's got so much supply in his medvacs right now. I feel like the supply for Ziggy is not actually strong.
Below the main base of the 4th, finding strong damage here, honestly. Oh, okay. But Ziggy jumps into the 3rd.
In the tank line, it's deep, but can he find some positioning? There's so many tanks everywhere. Huge anti-armor missile comes in. The Hellions, the tank army just cleaning up. The Vikings in the sky cleaning up all the medvacs. And a convincing win for Ziggy here.
And honestly, I think this is the beginning of the end here.
Yeah, I mean,
the Vikings.
Yep, cleaning up the rest of the tanks. Unbelievable. Yeah. Nice fight. And as well, look at the Hellion in the back, like you said, finding 8 SCVs. I will tell you, this skin at the natural, it does look like a normal command center, even though it is a PF, ladies and gentlemen. Do not be fooled.
Oh, wow. I literally can't tell.
The only way you can tell is it has like 2 tank sieges on the top of it. There's like...
okay. Yeah, there's like 2 cannons.
Yeah, that's it. That's like the only difference with these skins. But now Braddock realized, I mean, the tank count now 16-1, and tanks are huge. In TVT,
yeah, there's no air control here for Ziggy. Right. I think Braddock is going to secure game 1 here.
Yeah, I mean, he should, as just...
well.
No GG from Ziggy. All right, there you have it.
Yeah, GG.
GG. We'll get... That is, I mean, that's Braddock in a nutshell. If I had to guess, that was Braddock's map pick as well. And as you said in the early game, I mean, maybe the build order went well for Braddock. I mean, double gas opener against that 2 racks, being able to get the Hellions out.
Mm-hmm.
But really, where Braddock won that game was taking a couple nice engagements. I mean, Ziggy tried to find some damage, and he had 1 win in the beginning to lay that 3rd base, cleaning up a little army. But then after that, he just kept diving and not getting it done. Game 1 for Braddock.
He was definitely on one mode, and that mode was attacking. And I completely understand that. I like that way of thinking whenever you're playing against Mac, because especially in a tournament, you can get really uncomfortable playing against someone who's playing a defensive style where you know their army is really strong. So maybe he just wanted to end the game like right as soon as possible, and he didn't feel as comfortable playing late game.
Yeah.
But I definitely think like his first attack, very strong, delayed the 3rd, found some tank damage. Yeah. But I think after that, you definitely want to slow the game down a little bit. I mean, he had a fast 4th, just forcing it a little bit too much. But Braddock played a fantastic game.
Your invite was pending. Hold on. Yeah, yeah, well played. I think. I mean, Ziggy is a. I don't know how Ziggy is exactly. I mean, I know he does not like to GG. I don't really think it impacts him. I don't think. Okay. I don't know if he really actually gets upset by it, or he just doesn't like the GG. You know, he's at a point in his career where he just passed GGing. But now Ice and Chrome. So do you think that? I mean, you think Ziggy might be a 2-raxer, but do you think this map specifically is a decent map for 2-raxing?
Well, I think it's an okay map for 2-rax. But I think more importantly, this is a really strong map for mech. And if Ziggy felt uncomfortable last game, then I would definitely think that you'd want to mix it up again.
Yeah, okay. I can get behind that logic. All right, in the bottom left, representing Starcom, the man who showed us mech and showed us how mech can be strong. It is Braddock.
In the top right, we have Ziggy.
Ziggy. Now, I mean, right now, I guess you wouldn't know yet, but if it was actually pure proxy, an SCV would be across the map, would it not?
Yeah, for sure. I'm not sure what Ziggy's going to go for this game. I'm actually pretty interested to see how he wants to play this out, because I really think he wants to be really aggressive, so I expect another gas, and he'll probably, like, delay his natural CC and do a faster starport. But maybe he'll just play macro and he'll change up his approach. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, both players opening for double gas. I can agree with you. I do think this map can be strong for mech, because actually the 4 base setup you can have on this map can be hard to break. You know, that top side with the rocks, pretty tough choke.
Yeah. Even the 5-base setup is really
strong. Yeah, because the low ground and tanks. Yeah, I agree. So this, I don't know what happened in the vetoes, but I'm surprised Braddock got these 2 maps because I feel like this is right in Braddock's wheelhouse. I did peep their win rates. Now, hard to say exactly if these are their main accounts, but both players looked like they both had the highest win rates versus Terran. So this might be, they might both feel good about the matchup. We'll see. I think more of the pressure is on Ziggy because you kind of know what you're going to get with Braddock. He's going to go late game. He's going to go macro. He's going to go mech. And it's how Ziggy handles it is really what we'd be looking for.
Yeah, maybe Ziggy's a little bit afraid of playing Braddock after seeing Braddock 2-out Haramarine. You're never quite sure what players are thinking.
That's true.
Everyone's form is like really dependent on the day and whatnot. Like no one's always there 100%.
That's true. I heard that series was actually Braddock playing Bio as well. Not even
like straight up, like it was so sick how Braddock played that series. Like actually one of the coolest series I've seen in a really long time. Seeing like an underdog beat such a massive favorite. Yeah. I really enjoy that series. Awesome. And to note here, we do see Ziggy going for the faster starport here. Mm-hmm. So he is wanting to do some heavy 1-base aggression just in the game early. Okay. Obviously, you can macro out of this if things go well, but this is heavily committed.
Okay. Now, but I mean, do you like Braddock's response? I mean, we see Widowmine as well. That can't be very meta, is it?
You can do it, but it's not as common. I don't think it's necessarily bad, but it's definitely not as common.
Okay. I mean, so this is just going to be that very big Mass Reaper Hellion push, and I mean, is he going to tank? Going to get a Cyclone? Probably a Cyclone with this, if I had to guess.
Yeah, this is looking really good for Ziggy, truth be told here, because what's going to happen is as long as Ziggy doesn't commit into the natural with the Widowmine, he's just going to jump into the main with the Reapers and drop in the main with the Hellions with the Medevac. And he just has more than Braddock, so I think he should go to win the game here. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to control, so we'll see how that goes.
I will say Ziggy did not scout, and Braddock did scout, so maybe he at least kind of has some idea of what is going on. But you don't have of course, you never have the complete picture. The longer it goes, the better. I mean, it could come down to that the Widowmine if it somehow finds the right hit. Now, if he sees it, oh god, this is very scary. Braddock, got to be careful not to lose the entire army before the push actually starts. And we got a Banshee coming out. That would be very nice if it gets out in time. And I mean, you can still lose all your workers, so it has to get out in time before things snowball.
This is looking really bad for Braddock here. He's sending out his Reaper, so he's going to have even fewer units at home. I mean, it really just comes down to timing, though, because if he can buy time for the tank and the Banshee, I think he'll be fine. But he could also just lose every single SCV here.
Yeah. Now we see Ziggy with the Hellions, the Reapers diving in, getting a lot of SCVs. 6 already, but reminder, his base is very late, so he has to find a lot of damage. Banshee is out, putting in some okay damage, but the units of Ziggy not dying that quickly. And there's not a whole lot left, but he does push him back with a Cyclone, the Banshee doing big damage from this guy. And this is very nice for Braddock right now.
Yeah, and this is even nicer for Braddock because he's not going to know it, but Ziggy's making an engineering bay, and he's going to make missile turrets because he thinks it's cloaked Banshees. And that's, like, massive because that's 125 minerals, 200 more, for something that you don't even get response for.
Coming back in, maybe not really ready for him to come back in, knowing he had enough units. Ziggy finding 2 workers and a little bit. The Cyclone lock on might get the Medvac, and if the Medvac goes down, it does only 1 Reaper living.
I think Braddock's very happy with that. Losing 3 SCVs for only 2 SCVs for a Medevac and units.
Yeah.
I think he's in a fantastic position right now, especially because what's really important to note in TVT is the amount of tech that you have, and he has a lot of high tech units, and he has a lot of gas that he could spend on Ravens right now.
Now, interesting, we have Magfield Excel coming out from Ziggy. That is kind of an interesting move here. Maybe he's gonna try to combine it with a couple Ravens and hit a follow-up timing push. Is what I would have.
I like that a lot because I think he's identified that Braddock's gonna play mech here. And one thing you can do against a mech player like Braddock, who plays a very defensive style, you can have like 4 Cyclones set outside their natural, and it's extremely hard for the mech player to ever push out of that. So you can gain a lot of economic advantages through this style. So I think this is a really good response here from Ziggy. I like this a lot.
And he might find some damage because we have the fast third command center from Braddock, which you kind of expect with mech, and after cleaning up that army, now the Banshee obviously getting pushed away, and the Banshee will go down here, which is actually quite annoying because it's a nice try to get to the high ground there from Braddock. Now he does obviously know. Someone in chat asking me to fix the score. I am not actually sure the number. Do you know the overlay?
You do control 1.
Control 1. Okay, that's the other way. It's
do shift
control
1 then.
0 probably. And it's control 2?
No.
Oh wait, no.
It's
Well,
shift 1. It's
Braddock
control
1. Braddock 1, so it should be the other one. Oh,
I don't know how to do it. I just
oh no,
control
shift 1. Okay, yeah, you got you. Oh, look at that. We're learning here, guys.
Yeah, we're learning.
Now I'm ready, because last year's I didn't know how to do it either. I had to tell them to imagine a 1 next to Marine Lord's name. Now, interesting, the Raven actually looking for damage here for Ziggy, which is kind of surprising to me, because I thought he might use it.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all here, because you know your opponent's going to be playing a very defensive style.
Wow.
And, yeah, not a big fan of that move. But, you know, it's not the end of the world.
Okay, he was lining it up with the Raven in the main that found 3 SCVs, which is kind of nice, but now if he forgot to bring it home. He misclicked it. Okay, it will get home. That was kind of scary. I agree. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. It's like shading all the adepts into the main before you're actually going for a push. Now, he does have a third base, so Ziggy's not completely all in. But I agree. I mean, the Raven energy is so big in these fights, you can completely change the fight. So,
yeah,
using that Raven energy early, it's a little bit interesting. Now we see a 4th command center going down for Braddock. But the push is coming in, and Ziggy's going to try to find a spot in the tank out of position. How many interference matrix does he have? Looks like maybe 2.
Oh, okay. I think he could really just go around to the 3rd here and lock onto the command center, and I think he would get it. I'm really not sure how Braddock stops him from killing his 3rd.
Yeah.
Okay, moving a tank forward does help, but that can still get disabled.
Banshee
I'd really like Ziggy to identify this. Disable that tank and then lock on.
Yeah.
Okay. Braddock spots that, pulls back command center. He's going to lose 2 Vikings and a Raven here. So I still like this trade for Ziggy and a tank. I'm really liking this a lot for Ziggy here. I really like that decision there.
Yeah, don't forget there's a Cloak Banshee in the main at the same time from Ziggy, finding a few workers, not too many.
Yeah, and he sniped the Raven, so this is... There's no detection for this.
Oh, wow, he does have 50 energy on this scan, but it's very annoying, and he really just has this 1 Viking and a Cyclone going out of position. This Banshee being a nightmare for Braddock right now, and the 3rd base obviously not mining. 3rd base mining for Ziggy. He's starting to look really nice for Ziggy. Now the Banshee,
I really like this.
Just racking up the kills. And he does have a scan. He should finally clean it up. But wow, he did find that damage. Not with the main army, but actually mostly with the Banshee. I mean, yes, he killed the Raven. He killed both Raven. Oh, now the Cyclone's finding both Liberators on the south side. Just a complete gift here. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is fantastic for Ziggy. I really like his decision making there in that situation, because none of this would have happened if he didn't commit there on the 3rd base onto those Vikings and Ravens and sniping off a tank. So I really like this position for Ziggy.
And
I think this is
I don't know if you've noticed it, but we have these smart servos, I believe, whatever it's called, Banshee Speed coming out, as well as Mass Banshee Mech from Ziggy.
Yeah, this is awesome. This is a fantastic style to play. I'm a little bit surprised that he's going at tank. I think you should probably stay on Hellion Cyclone and then deny the Terran from taking a 4th. But don't make more than 8 Cyclones, because if you make 8 Cyclones, they can never really take a 4th. And then you transition to air. But it looks like he's just going to go straight into mech, so I'm kind of interested to see what he's looking to do with this. Making 2 more factories and a starport. So yeah, I think he's just going to go into most likely just tank Viking with strong upgrades.
Now the missile turrets, he waited, and now there is missile turrets, a few missile turrets, but nothing in the mineral line, and these Banshees are so fast. 3, 4, 5 workers going down already. These Banshees finding a lot of damage, and they're so fast. I mean, this is big. He's up 11 workers already. Any Banshees that go, or any SCVs that go down right now is massive. 10, 11. He's just dancing around. He doesn't mind taking a few volleys from these Vikings because he is finding big damage.
Yeah, and this all happened because he lost to the Raven. Like, this is really well done from Ziggy, sniping the Raven and going into Cloak Banshees.
I'm very impressed that he was also able to get out there. And I gotta say, I really like Ziggy's decision with these Cyclones, also just chilling here, monitoring the 4th base, knowing when that 4th base is coming up. Because that's actually pretty big. I mean, knowing when the 4th base, having units on the 4th base. Now, Braddock has 4 Hellions on the wrong 4th base right now. He's gonna have to send those in eventually, but there's tanks. Now, it is TVT, and a lot of it comes down to the engagement, how the tanks are sieged up, who sieges up first, who gets in the right spot. But
yeah, like we've even seen with the Kira versus Special series, you can have a 3-3 upgrade advantage against 0-0 and still lose.
Sure.
So it's never over until it's over, I think, with mech.
Oh wow, both players on siege right now. Both players maybe think they have a bit of time to find something. I will say it's interesting that there's only an orbital at this 4th base. Pretty greedy from Ziggy, but not being punished. Already up to 83 workers, by the way. The next couple of minutes, Ziggy's just going to be ramping up so high. He's going to take a massive supply edge just because he's mining a full extra base. Hellion's coming into the natural right now for Braddock, looking to even up the SCV count. He is going to find 4 instantly, and these are not touched Hellions. He might clean up almost his entire mineral line. 7 workers going down. 10, 12, very nice counterattack from Braddock. But at the same time, oh wow, a huge shot at the end.
Okay, that's definitely what you need to get yourself back into this game.
Wow, at the third base as well, trying to find even more, up to 22 workers. Now, I will say, if anything, it did allow Ziggy to position on the bottom side while the Cyclones trying to, or the Banshees trying to kill this fourth base. But now, he's got a lot of tanks on the south sides, but I'm not sure you can actually push up right now.
Yeah, I think maybe Ziggy can be a bit more aggressive if you siege up 3 tanks on top of that 1 tank, and you can get a strong position at this fourth. And then it's really going to come down to whether or not Braddock has Liberators, which he does, so I think he'll be fine here.
Yeah. Liberators.
So just a bit of annoyance, I think.
Oh yeah, this is actually looking really nice for Braddock, because there is no, I mean, there is the Cyclones here, but he doesn't have much high ground. And now tanks get into an organization, but now he scans, and he might be able to snipe all through tanks.
Wow, that's massive. He just got like 6 or 7 tanks there. That's really a lot of damage done.
Right, wow, what a nice turn of events here for Braddock in the last couple minutes. The Hellions getting in, of course. The mech play going his way. The Squiddle Mine still looking... Okay, it does shoot off. Just removing on everything in the middle of the map. But now, I'm starting to like Ziggy's position. I mean, we have Thors coming out for Ziggy. What do you think about that? I mean, it seems like he's so far behind in the skies that maybe he feels like he needs some Thors? Or is that meta?
I'm not a big fan of it because you're playing against a mass tank style where really the counter to mass tank is just having better air control and just going into Viking Liberator. I really don't think the Thors offer you that much in a mech versus mech situation. Yeah. Especially against an opponent who's turtling pretty hard. So I would have liked to see him go into more air, but it looks like he wants to commit to just playing a ground mech style. He's dropping 2 more factories, going up to 7, I believe.
Yeah.
So I think he wants to just like transition into mass Cyclone after he trades out an army, which I think that could be fine, but I still would rather air control.
I'm a little bit concerned that that Braddock is already on 91 SCVs and we're still only on 4 bases. That seems like maybe a few too many right now. Hopefully he does start trading them out eventually, because I'm not sure how strong the supply is. And you are right, there are 14 tanks right now for Ziggy, or for Braddock already, but he's got the 11 Vikings. So maybe that is what, what Ziggy is thinking with these Thors. He's thinking, look, that Viking count is very high.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a lot of Thors. Like, he hits 4 at this point.
He's making more. He's got 2 more queued up. He's been watching Vibe's Braun Grand Master Series.
Yeah.
He's going to go across the map. I mean, he might be able to find something here.
I really like Braddock's position at all of these bases. Like, he has such a strong setup at all of them. 3 tanks at the 4th, 3 tanks at the 3rd, 3 tanks at the 5th, and then he has an army that he can move around based on where he sees Ziggy. Yeah. Like, I'm really liking this for Braddock.
Yeah, and it's just exactly like what we talked about on this map specifically. The tanks with, especially a planetary fortress, can be very hard to break. But tanks versus tanks, and if he can somehow get on top of these 3 tanks and find a position with the reposition coming in from Braddock, I mean, it's going to be hard to find damage. The battle cruisers coming in from Braddock. I'm a fan of battle cruisers.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic choice from Braddock. Like, your opponent's on a bad army composition, and he's forced to trade out. Okay, we see the fight coming in here. Liberator goes down.
Yeah, and now there are tanks in position for Ziggy. A fight coming through. Tanks going in on both ends right now. The air war actually
just be strong for Braddock, I think.
Yeah, the Vikings somewhat. Okay, no, he's still winning the Viking war. The thing is, Thors can't really do anything against these tanks. So as long as the tanks win out on the ground for Braddock, he can't really be pushed. And now the tank numbers right now, I mean, we have 6 here for Braddock and only 4 for Ziggy. It's going to be hard for him to push through. This is basically mass Thor. He's making 5 Thors. Now, that could be okay against this battlecruiser switch, though.
Yeah, that could be okay, but then you still have the same issue where you're playing against tanks. And Thors are just such an awful unit against tanks.
Yeah. Only 2 siege tanks here right now. Maybe if you can get a proper siege, but I'm not sure about this. For Ziggy going in, tanks sieging up, battlecruisers out, Vikings taking some shots, winning the air war, and this is a nice little concave for Braddock as well. There's only 2 tanks on the front line, and there's so many tanks left for Braddock.
And I just don't see how Ziggy ever forces the issue. Like, his army composition just isn't strong against what Braddock's playing. I think Braddock has done a really good job of analyzing that and creating the best possible army.
Yeah.
And now I really love this position for Braddock.
Yeah.
Ziggy still has a strong economy. He's just got to start making strong units.
It is interesting to me that, he is going now back into 5 Vikings and tanks. He realizes as well he needs something to handle these battlecruisers that is not just the Thor. But now Braddock is realizing, yeah, my army is actually pretty good. I don't know if you have the right units right now. I have a way higher tank count. Tanks sieging up. There is a nice concave here for Ziggy, but there's so many tanks right now for Braddock, but there's only tanks left. But is that enough?
Yeah, now we see how bad Thors are against mass tank.
Yes, I mean, Ziggy just getting destroyed here. It actually was, he kind of had a bit of a surround there, but it was Thor's trying to come in on these tanks. And I mean, no GG.